Okay, we're back after just having gotten the yellow refractor out of that dungeon. Unfortunately, it's not good enough to fix our flying ship, but we should be able to get some use out of that refractor. It certainly would be worth a lot of money. Anyways, first thing I'm going to do in this video is develop all of my items that I can develop right now. We're going to get a new weapon and a new piece of equipment. The weapon is the grenade arm, which is unfortunately the worst weapon in the game. Well, it's second only to the kick attack, but really, the grenade arm, it shoots real-world grenades. You know, the ones where you pull the pin and you have to wait a couple seconds for it to explode. Since the enemies in this game move fast enough, they can actually get out of the grenade's explosion range before it actually goes off. If it exploded instantly, it would be a lot better, and there is a weapon that works like that. We also got the spring set, which is the item that allows us to jump higher. You know what that means? It's time for some more dungeon exploration. We're just going to hop right back into the dungeons, and we're going to explore all the areas we couldn't get to before, and we can get to every non-story ruins area in the game now, and look how high that jumps. It's amazing, isn't it? And this guy is unfortunately not able to... A fence is blocking the... You didn't see us ram through the fence? Really? You didn't check and see if the fence was gone? But unfortunately, even though the fence is gone, his license level is too low. Poor guy. I wonder what happens if you lie to him. Or at least not tell him the whole truth. Oh well. I'm pretty sure aerial movement is faster, which means our movement just got a teensy bit faster now. Not that it's all that much faster, it's like probably just a couple pixels per second. So let's hop right back into the dungeon that we've been exploring and wall clipping our way through this entire LP. We seem to be going to this place quite often. Anyhow, now that we can jump higher, we can get on top of the ledges in this first room here, which means we can take shortcuts to other areas of the ruins, which is really nice. I believe I'm going south. It's been a while since I recorded this. Nope, going through this door. Because there is one chest in this area that I had missed. It's probably just money. But, you know, gotta get all chests. This is a 100% playthrough, so you gotta get all chests. Oh no, you can actually jump up to this area now. Okay, so that chest was just money. It's kind of unfortunate how many of the chests are just money. And I'm not gonna go down that corridor just yet. I'm going to pick up a little something first. Of course, this game is much better about hiding actual treasures in the dungeons than Legends 2 is, but that's a ways off. So this room, not this room, but the one right after it, there's something weird about the next room. It has like those spinning top things, but like they're so out of the way that you'd probably never get hit by them. I don't think I mentioned this before, but look, there they are. Who's gonna get hit by these things? It's completely pointless to put them there. There should be like a ton more enemies in this room. There need to be more of the walking robots at least. Anyhow, now we can go back and see what's down that corridor. The enemies down here are actually going to be a bit more difficult than what we've dealt with so far. Which is good news for me because I don't have any of the life bar or armor upgrades yet. That's gonna be a real treat. So, we have a new enemy type. I just call these guys crab robots, even though they have an actual name. Their gimmick is that you are supposed to shoot at them a little bit until they flip over, then you can actually damage them. But it takes a certain number of shots to flip them over, and after they take a certain amount of damage, they flip back over. So there's really no way to defeat them quickly and efficiently. I just prefer to jump over them, or run past them, or whatever. The next story dungeon is actually full of these guys, and I'll just destroy this one just to demonstrate how it is done. Some special weapons can actually flip them over in an instant, and that is a little better. I can demonstrate in the next story dungeon. And in this next area, I actually realized, oops, I didn't bring the drill arm in here, and I was kind of supposed to do that in order to explore this room, because this room has an obstacle that you can only destroy with two weapons. One is the drill arm, and the other we can't even get until after the next story dungeon. So yeah, gonna have to go back and go and get the drill arm. You see, this is why it would have been helpful to equip two weapons, because I could like have the drill arm and my main combat weapon equipped, or I could bring the vacuum arm, I guess. You know, so through the magic of video editing, we are back in this room again with the drill arm. So now we can blow up these giant pillars of rubble, I guess. And we have another new enemy type in this room. These guys can be quite annoying if you have to fight them in close quarters, but fortunately these rooms are wide open enough. I just call these guys shield reaver bots because they have a shield. Simple. What they do is they move forward and shoot fireballs, and the shield is very annoying because there's no way to remove it. You just have to, like, either get behind them and start shooting, or you have to, like, you know, fire, I guess, when they're shooting at you, because they have to lower the shield for that. In close quarters, they actually move towards you with the shields up and try to, I guess, slowly ram into you, I suppose. Something like that. In Legends 2, the enemy reappears. Oh, that green door leads to a story dungeon, so we're not going to go there, because that would be sequence breaking and all the doors would be locked. So in Legends 2, this enemy type returns, but there are ways of removing the shield completely. But in exchange for that, they have even more annoying attacks. That'll be a treat. Okay, so with all of these blocks destroyed, there's more blocks in this room, actually. Okay, so this chest has 5,600 zenny. Meh. And the other two are trap boxes, which technically means they have like 2,400 zenny or something. Oh, look at me try to destroy this thing with the drill arm again. Just shoot it, dude. Just shoot it past me. You can see how ineffective these guys are. Fortunately, Legends 2 upgrades them again, and I should probably stop talking about Legends 2 until I actually play it, but that game is so good with its combat. Oh well. Alright, so where haven't we been in this room yet? There's this chest, the old launcher. That's probably for... what is it for? It's for a buster part, I think? I can never remember what the components are for, because you pick them all up anyhow, so eh. We got a pen light in this room, and don't ask how, but that combines with the Zet Saber to make another weapon that I will actually use in the next dungeon. So we destroy these blocks, and this is where they do something actually kind of cool, because they start hiding holes in the walls behind the destructible blocks. It's mostly just Zenny that's in them, though. Yeah, I haven't mentioned it yet, but an awful lot of, like, holes in the walls, chests, and other things, they all just contain more Zenny, which, you know, that's nice, but, like, if you go out of your way to pick something up, it would be nice if it was something other than what you farm off the enemies anyways. Just my opinion. And Legends 2 is actually really bad about that. I talked about Legends 2 again. Darn it. Okay, so what's in this hole? Hopefully it's something I can actually talk about. Oh, okay, money. Let's talk about money. I have 660 more Zenny, and I have about 70,000 total right now. No, I should have like 90,000 by this point. Oh, hey, that's an item that's not Zenny. The main core shard. I guess there's not much to talk about until I remember what it actually makes. Huh. Oh, the Rapid Striker. That's a buster part. It raises Rapid by 2. Yeah, I already have a buster part that does that and more, so it's kind of not that good. I mean, if, you know, I guess there's no avoiding the fact that power is just the most important stat, with energy close behind. So yeah, most of these buster parts are actually not that good if they don't raise attack high enough. So anyhow, the only doors left unexplored in here are green doors, which lead to story dungeons, so we'll have to ignore those. Which means it's time to get out of here. Oh, but first, this room is actually glitched. So you can see this little passage that I'm running back and forth between. The reason I'm doing that is because little passageways like this, much like in Metroid Prime, they mask loading times. When you go through them, one area unloads and the other reloads, but that particular passage forgets to unload the enemies. So if there's like one enemy remaining, you can actually keep going back and forth between those two doors, and it will just multiply all of the enemies in one location. I wish this was useful for grinding, but it really isn't. It just means you can, like, reload all the enemies. Okay, so with the magic of video editing, we've teleported yet again. So you remember this room, right? With the spring set, we can actually get into this room, and pick up this chest, which is just more money, of course. All these chests are nothing but money. And there's this little passage in the back here, which leads to a room with a bunch of upgraded Reaver bots. These are the kinds that shoot fire. We saw them briefly when I sequence broke into the final dungeon of the game. There's only one chest in here that isn't a trapped chest. It is the triple access buster part, which raises energy, range, and rapid by 1. It doesn't raise power, so never use it. That's kind of just sad, isn't it? I mean, rapid's already kind of not that good because of a trick you can pull with the buster. If you are shooting at an enemy and you rapidly tap forward, then you will actually shoot the buster much faster because you're canceling the cooldown animation of the buster, I guess. Sort of. Yeah, I'll find a place to demonstrate it better. But speedrunners use that all the time, so watch a speedrun if you want. Okay, so we're finally going to exit this dungeon. At this point, we have explored all of the non-main story dungeon areas, so that's pretty cool. Maybe we missed an item or something. I don't imagine we have. Maybe just like a Zenny chest or something. So we're back on the plains near the woods where the pirates were digging up that giant hole. And after you get the yellow refractor, this is where you can start up a side quest. A lot of side quests start opening up when you get the yellow refractor. And it was my intention to make this video entirely about side quests, but unfortunately some of these side quests were time-based, so I would have to pass time in order to like make them progress. You'll see what I mean. So in the meantime, I just did the next story battle anyways in this video. So we'll get to that. So this building, before you get the yellow refractor, this building is completely empty. But once you have it, these guys show up. Hooray, you made a secret base out of this one tiny little building. Well, seeing as this side quest is required to get the best weapon in the game, sure, I'll join. He knows that the item that you are rewarded with for this side quest gives you the best weapon in the game. He knew. Alright, so you need a pickaxe. Why do you need a pickaxe to work on building construction? Something's not right here. You use pickaxes to mine. Are you guys mining for iron? Anyhow, there's an Easter egg with this trash can. If you kick it, a bunch of birds fly out. Yeah, that's all that there was there. And now I'm going to blow up the trash can. Eventually. The buster's not working. What is going on here? You're kidding me. That trash can resists the buster, but you take a drill to it, and it explodes? Okay, then. Anyhow, this other house has a shop in it, just like I mentioned. It's the same shop as the one in the market. I have no idea why it's there. So I'm just going to buy a couple of things. I bought 2 extra packs, which expand the energy canteen's capacity. And if you buy an extra pack, you actually also get a free refill on your energy canteen, so you don't have to actually pay to refill it when you can just buy an extra pack. I bought a shield repair, and I also bought a hyper cartridge, which restores your special weapon energy. I also bought a buster part, the laser, which gives +4 attack, the best buster part for raising attack so far. And this NPC, I've always thought of this NPC as a really funny guy because he just asks, "What do you think?" And then there's a yes-no prompt. He's actually asking about the big hole in the woods that the pirates dug, but like, he just says, "What do you think?" Was there a text box missing or something? I don't know. Oh well. Alright, so, the pickaxe is actually not hard to find. You just kind of have to ask somebody who works in construction. This very specific NPC near the bank. A pick from this one single NPC out of Benny in the entire city. So yeah, you can also see they're working on reconstructing the police station from scratch. Which means if we want to get to those side quests, we're going to have to wait a while. Rather unfortunate, but, you know, I guess if I had defended the city better, this wouldn't have been a problem. Yeah, don't blame me for that. It's really hard to manage all 3 buildings in that fight from like 4 videos back. Alright, so we take the pick to the kids, and then we have to wait for them to start fixing up their base. It actually takes... I don't know if it takes real time or if it's based on the number of screen transitions, but you have to wait. I guess it could be real time. That determines how long it takes for them to fix the place up. If we won't even recognize it, then... Like, how can we not recognize it if it's in the same location as before? Are you guys moving someplace? Yeah, I'm just reaching for humor right now. Sorry, guys. Oh yeah, since we're able to use the buster in this area, I should mention, in the Japanese version of this game, you can actually shoot the birds down and kill them! You can't do that in the American version. I guess that's worth a bit of trivia. Filling dead air. How fantastic. I guess we should just call a roll and get to the next area, because the next part of the main quest is in Uptown. But first we're going to give her the flower, which we think is not that pretty. Yes, I was very mean to that flower by saying I don't think it's pretty. What a weird thing. So yeah, there are 3 items in this game that you can give to Roll as gifts. I forgot to give her the flower the past couple of times I've been here, but now I give it to her. We'll see what the gifts do later. It's nothing special. It's just like more things you can do. We're gonna switch to the powered buster for this upcoming area. And you know, I have so much money, so I may as well max out the powered buster. This weapon fires a single shot that goes a pretty long distance and has a really good amount of damage to it, but unfortunately it doesn't fire very quickly and you actually have to stop moving completely in order to fire it. But it does have its uses in situations where you're not moving around that much anyways. Not really high on the weapon tier list in it, but it doesn't cost all that much to max out, only about 30,000 zenny. Some of the upgrades are a little expensive though, like raising the range to the max is pretty costly. Oh well, we're gonna head to Uptown because that's where the next story point is. And fortunately, Rule drops us off right next to it. Wily's boat? Not the Wily, could it be? Well, kind of. Oh, what happened here? Somebody stole all the boats? Wow, somebody stealing from Dr. Wily. That is just so wrong. Like you'd never expect it, right? The mad Dr. Wily is now a boat shop owner. These alternate universes, they're like, well, technically not an alternate universe, but if this guy is supposed to be some descendant of the original Dr. Wily, then I will eat my shorts. The Mega Man story at large may be convoluted, but it's not that crazy. So all the boats have been stolen from the boat shop, and the only one left is this rundown, broken boat. If he had a refractor like mine, he could probably fix it. I think we know what we're gonna use the yellow refractor on. And how did the guy know I had the refractor on me? Was I like carrying it around all the time?
Taking really good care of this boat. There.
Well, do you really think you should be doing that?
Would you look at this engine? Let's see. All we need to do is fix the transformer and the refractor and it'll be as good as new.
Well...
And what do you think you're doing?
Huh?
Mega Man, could you hand me a...
Ah, the elbow polygons! They strike again!
Just a sec, Roll.
Has it been that same bird popping up on all these cutscenes? What even is that bird? It doesn't look like a
There
seagull.
we go, all fixed. Whoops. I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. I just started fixing the ship and...
You really love machines, don't you? I can tell just by looking at your face.
Well, your face. It's covered with grease.
I'm glad I could get someone as pretty as you to fix my boat for me. Tell you what.
Ah, elbow polygons!
You want.
I keep seeing them!
Now.
That's
Elbow
great.
polygons again!
Let me know when you want to go out to the island. I'll pilot the boat for you. See you later.
Okay.
And Mega Man said something without moving his lips. What is going on? And his helmet is back on. And Data is here for some reason. He just teleported to where the boat was. Oh, such weird things going on here. Okay, so I'm gonna change my Buster parts up a little bit because I need pretty high attack and I need a bit of range too. The Buster unit is actually what I'm gonna use here. So, yeah, not using the auto battery here. So the game made a big deal out of us fixing this boat and getting out to sea, which can only mean one thing.
Are you ready?
Yup, let's go.
Here we go.
It means more elbow polygons! Yeah, I'm just not gonna mention the elbow polygons anymore. At least I'll try not to, but seriously, I know this was a very early PS1 game, but I've never seen elbow polygons that bad.
Picking something up on the sonar. Keep an eye out, Mega Man. I knew it. They're here. Their robots are here.
Guess who? It's time for a battle on the water, and this is why I wanted the powered buster, because you're locked to the top of the ship anyways. So the fact that the powered buster stops you from moving while it's firing doesn't really matter all that much. So what you're supposed to do here is defend the boat itself from attacks this time. The red robots fire torpedoes, and the yellow robots fire missiles. And to be perfectly honest, the yellow robots are the least threatening here. The boat actually twists and turns often enough that the missiles, they just like dart around your boat without ever actually hitting it, but you've got to be prepared for the one missile that actually hits you. Now the torpedoes fired by the red robots,
Mega Man, ahead.
those are awful, because you can see that you have to actually shoot them on the surface of the water, which means, you know, they're out of sight very often. And, you know, there's a ship shooting at me from above as well. So yeah, the flying enemies are not the best ones to hit with a powered buster. And you actually have to be careful about where you fire because, you know, you're constantly moving, so just because you point and shoot at an enemy doesn't necessarily mean the bullet will hit them. So yeah, you can destroy the actual ships instead of just defending from their projectiles, which most people would not recommend because focusing on the projectiles is safer.
Multiple signals on my sonar.
And you get nothing for destroying the robots themselves anyways.
Around the ship.
However, if you are on hard mode, then, oh my goodness, this section just becomes a pain. On normal, it's, you know, just a normal, like, auto-scroller, basically. Also, how did you detect the enemies above you with your sonar? Do you not know how sonar works? So, on hard mode, not only do the missiles and the torpedoes do a lot more damage, but the enemy will actually fire a lot more of them. In fact, like, they'll fire the torpedoes at you long after they've, you know... Oh, I destroyed, like, 3 torpedoes with the powered buster shot. That was interesting. So, like, on hard mode, they fire at you from very long distances. You'll never see the torpedoes coming. Especially since, you know, they're on the surface of the water, and you're kind of not paying attention to all of that while you have missiles, ships, and other things firing at you. On hard, it becomes more important to actually destroy the robots themselves. And you can even do that on normal if you want to be safe, too.
Mega Man, ahead.
Now, what's actually interesting is that, you know, there's a weapon that is actually very effective for this section if you know what you're doing. It's the splash mine. Oh, and you probably don't want to shoot yourself, too. The splash mine is actually very effective for this section if you know where all the robots are going to appear, because the mines actually stay on the surface of the water. This is actually very interesting because if you use the grenade arm here, then the grenades, they just drop into the water and go splash, but the splash mines actually stay on the surface of the water. So that's very, very interesting, and you can use the splash mine very effectively if you know where each enemy is going to be. Like this enemy that I'm shooting at, you can destroy that one pretty quickly with the splash mine. As for the powered buster, I kind of have to, like, know very well where I'm aiming. A laser sight would have been helpful here, but I suppose, you know, that's asking for a little too much. And also, what is with this enemy right here? It's still stuck in its sinking animation. I have no idea how that happened. That was very, very strange. I've actually never seen that happen before, because you can see that that robot that I just shot, he sank very quickly. So yeah, I've already used up half of the powered buster's ammo, so even with max energy, this thing doesn't have a lot of ammo. But there are weapons with even worse ammo counts, which is why the hyper cartridge is very effective. There's no way to get, like, weapon energy drops from enemies in Legends 1. In Legends 2, they rectify that. Alright, so I think that's all of the little robots, which means it's time for the boss. Or are there a couple more? Oh, okay, good.
Got rid of all their little ships. Wait! I can see it on the sonar. Heads up, Mega Man. Something big's coming this way.
You know, the ruins are right there. Why don't you just land the ship and let me get off?
I knew our little blue boy'd show up. I figured we'd run into him sooner or later if we waited here. Slow ahead!
Slow ahead!
Ladies and gentlemen, the giant purple frog machine. Wow, it really is slow.
All right, men. Concentrate your fire on the blue boy. Blow him and his little toy boat out of the water.
What? But, Diesel, if we sink his boat, won't the keys go down with it?
Who cares? Once he's out of the way, we can get whatever we want from the mayor, right? We've got to take care of him once and for all. Thanks to him, our plans have been completely ruined. I'm gonna teach him a lesson. All right, men, let's do it.
What's wrong with me? Why should I care if that little brat dies? I shouldn't. I really shouldn't.
Geez, she really is prepubescent. This is getting very awkward. Alright, so this boss starts by just shooting out missiles, which you can see that Roll herself is very effective at avoiding. But when the robots start lining up, you want to start shooting at the missiles again.
We need a different strategy.
How about shoot back? Is that an option? Right, so, okay.
Megaman, what should we do? Fight or retreat?
You can retreat and come back with your own boat at full health, but that's for boys. We're not boys, we're Mega Men!
Gonna get rough.
And yet another entry into lines you should not use in bed with your spouse. There's another one coming right up. Watch very carefully what goes on in the river. Why are we going up a river anyways? Can boats do that? I see you!
What's the matter? If you don't watch it, you're gonna end up with a big hole in your backside.
Roll, maybe you should not shake the boat?
You didn't fall off or anything, did you?
He's gonna fall off if you keep shaking the boat like that! Okay.
I shouldn't be able to maneuver in here.
So the powered buster is very effective here because it does a lot of damage to the robot parts. You have to destroy those in order to damage it.
Aim for their arms and
Of course, my aim is a bit off today,
More than a big frog if it can't shoot.
but those two cannons in the center there, they're very vulnerable to the powered buster.
Do they think they can beat us?
The attack coming from the two arms, that's the most annoying part because on hard mode it does a lot of damage and you can't really stop it from doing that. I'm gonna have to wait for it to, oh, I destroyed it then.
All our weapons have been destroyed.
Be quiet already! I didn't want to have to do this, but I'll teach them to mess with the bonds!
After destroying all of the robot parts, the main gun reveals itself. More of those green balls. If you shoot at the cannon, you can actually stop it from charging up its attack. And some people actually bring the machine buster in here because its high rate of fire lets them stop the thing from firing completely. Also, you can see that the missiles being fired from the top are completely ineffectual here. So, that was actually a good strategy by Roll there. Are you serious?
Status report!
This is the engineer reporting. Our engines are completely offline. There's flooding in the main hull. The build pumps aren't working. There are fires in blocks 2 and 3. They're being sealed off.
Teasel, I hate to admit it, but she's not gonna last much longer.
How did we blow up their entire ship just by destroying the cannons? Was the cannon with the green balls
Abandoned ship!
Was the cannon with the green balls their main power source or something? Something is wrong with these robot designs. Yeah, maybe Tron's not the genius she makes herself out to be. And how did they escape? They must have had lifeboats or
I'm
something.
sorry, Tron. After you went to all the trouble to make us such a magnificent robot, what can I say?
Cheer up, Teasel. Don't worry. We'll go back to the ship and come up with a new plan.
Yeah, that's it. That's the spirit. Thanks, you two. Now, I couldn't have asked for a better brother and sister than you. We'll get that blue boy next time for sure.
I don't understand. Even though he got the better of us again, I don't feel the least bit angry. Why is that?
What is with the echo there? Well, next time we'll explore the ruins on the lake.